Welcome to the Houston Hustle, the podcast that spotlights the movers, the makers, and the doers shaping the city we love. Each week, we sit down with Houston's top entrepreneurs to talk who they are, how they built it, the principles that drive them, and what success means beyond the highlight reel. This is Real Hustle, real stories, real Houston. Welcome to the Houston Hustle. I'm Dr. Paige Ward.
I'm Dr. Charlie Ward.
And today we have our guest, Christien Palumbo with Grain Offering Pasta Co. So tell us a little about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I started this business about a year and a half ago. It's obviously business in the food industry, and it's pretty much just me. I mean, I have some people that help me out here and there, but I make organic Neapolitan style pizza, and I also do pasta, obviously, hence the name, and some other Italian things as well. Like sometimes I make focaccia bread, and I bring that to the markets, different kinds of pastas as well. But I really just focus on organic Italian flour as my kind of focal point, because obviously a lot of the grains that you're getting in America are not really clean with all sorts of chemicals. We can get into that. But yeah, so I use all Italian flour, and it's completely third-party tested glyphosate-free. And it's, from Italy. So
that is really cool. Okay, so your last name is Italian.
My last name's Italian, yeah.
So is this like family stuff? Like, how did you get into this?
So I like when people say like, "Oh, you're Italian." I like to say I'm American Italian. Like, I'm not really Italian. You know, I think my great grandparents came from Italy, on my mom's side, and then my dad is half Italian. So I'm like 75% Italian. But it was kind of something that my mom took to heart, like growing up. She liked it, so she kind of had certain things that she would do for us, like mainly in food, like in cooking, that was slightly American Italian that her mom did. So like doughboys, like fried dough and stuff, like just different things. I don't even know if it's really Italian, but to her it was, you know what I mean? So it was kind of, I don't know, it warmed my heart growing up. And it's definitely, my love of food came from my mom, and I had it since I was a kid. Like when I was younger, like the thing I said I wanted to be was a chef.
That is so cool.
I played soccer, so I wanted to be a pro soccer player like every other kid, right? But a chef was one of the main things growing up that I always wanted to be. And that's what I did when I graduated college. I worked as a cook after I went to school for business. And yeah, then I eventually got to start my own business with it.
So what made you decide to start your own?
So I was working at an awesome restaurant in Cypress in Texas after we moved. I'm kind of like I've been here for about 4 years. So I grew up in the Northeast my whole life. And there's a lot more kind of Italian culture, I would say, in the Northeast, and specifically Rhode Island. And the city,
I would not have guessed.
The one city is called Providence in Rhode Island.
Yes.
Like Federal Hill, so there's a lot of Italian food there. So when I first started working in kitchens, I worked for free at this Italian place that my dad knew the owner, and I just worked for free just because I had no
connection.
Yeah, no connections besides my dad. He hooked it up for me. So it was fun. I was like just doing prep and like learning from the cooks and stuff. So it was really cool. But yeah, then I moved down to Texas about 4 years ago, worked in kitchens, worked for took a little time off. And then I worked for about a year and a half at a really awesome farm to table style restaurant. And then I really, weirdly enough, was like loving coffee in the coffee industry, because I love coffee shops. I live at coffee shops. I do all of my busy work at coffee shops for my business. And I wanted to do like a coffee pop-up farmers market style business.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, it just didn't flow. It didn't feel quite like it was clicking. As I was like thinking about how expensive the machine would be and all that stuff. Looking back on it, I feel like it probably wouldn't have been that expensive to do, because there's people who do it. But yeah, I feel like it was maybe even God kind of guiding,
pushing you in the right way.
In the right direction. Because I got into I was like, oh, pasta. I've never seen someone do pasta at a farmer's market. So then I started doing that, and then, did all the LLC for it and stuff. And then pizza, I just landed on that. And I always tell people, when I was a cook, working as a cook in restaurants, I could never cook pizza. For whatever reason, I couldn't cook pizza dough. It was always so bad when I made it. Like there's no gluten chew to it, and like no flavor. So it was kind of like perfect, like my redeeming moment where I was like, I'll finally learn how to make good pizza. So yeah.
But now you do pizza.
Now I do pizza. Now I do mainly pizza. I still make pasta. I'll make a lot of times like frozen raviolis at the farmers markets. And I want to push myself. I just got to time management better with it. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the flow for that type of thing, but I want to make more kind of specialty things that people can get excited about, and showcase them on my social media, me making it and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, pizza is where I've landed heavily. So like when I do pop-ups, I'm mainly just making hot Neapolitan style pizza. And I feel like I've dialed in the recipe a lot, so people like it. And the fact that it's organic is very uncommon. I think there's only one other place that I know of in the area that's doing organic pizza. So it's cool.
Just like a side note, I know we're talking primarily business, but because you're doing organic, do you find that people who maybe are more sensitive to other pizzas that make them more like
100%.
colonically distressed
Yeah.
are better with
Oh,
yours?
100%. I have one friend, I won't like name her, but I have a friend who has come, had my pizza. She was not eating gluten and she ate my pizza and she's like, dude, your pizza's my favorite pizza. It doesn't make me sick at all. I can eat it. And I've heard that before. Not like I tend to my dad helps me out at the market sometimes. He
Yeah.
was a doctor. He's very health focused. I love this. I love the health side, but I don't necessarily highlight that as my main focus. I
Yeah.
just have it as, if you look into it, I'm using all organic
You're
ingredients
being quality.
and I'm being quality, but I kind of just my focus as a person is person to person connection and like good food,
Yeah.
So which I just think you should if you're doing that, you should do it organic as best as you can, just because why not?
When you use those high quality ingredients, though, it translates to better health, better
Absolutely,
outcomes
which is
too,
super
so
important, and I love that, and that's the way I live. I mean, I don't eat personally fully organic, like, there's
Mhm.
restaurants that I just love. I love the people that work there, and I love the food, and so I go. But overall, when I cook for myself, I cook organically. I like to say just the best I can do it. But when I use it for my business, I'm always trying to keep that quality as high as I can for people. So, yeah.
No, I absolutely love that. Okay, so you have been open for how long now?
It's been like a year and 4 months, I think. Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel like it's changed from day one?
It's so when I first started doing it, I was doing it very part-time. I was just doing the Saturday farmers market in Montgomery. That's
Mhm.
where I've been from the start. And that markets has like really been awesome for me because I think how much people there are focused on organic. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, it's a great community
It
of
is
people.
definitely a very like
Yeah.
health-minded
It's
community
it's
over there.
interesting. I know. I don't know why, but 100% like and the market itself, I guess, is like they're outwardly all organic. You have to
Yeah.
be organic to get into that market.
Oh, okay, I
To be a
didn't know
vendor.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So they're very and they're quite strict on it in terms of in a good way.
Yeah, they
They hold the people
monitor.
to task, yeah. Um, but yeah, so when I started off, I was doing more pasta, more focused on that as well, and I was doing it more part-time, and then I think it was really only about 4 or 5 months ago that I started to be like, "Oh my gosh, like, I love this." I really wanna,
Yeah.
like, kinda being honest, I wasn't treating it as passionately in the beginning, even though I've always loved food. For whatever reason, I just kinda wasn't dialed into it as much, and then I just started to realize, like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a gift. This is such a blessing
Yeah.
to get to do this as my job," and then it really just started clicking for me, and I was, like, kinda rediscovering that love for food that I had for a
Yeah.
long time that I've had other passions. I'm a very, like, creative person, so I got into making music for years and kinda shifted away from food, and I've been all around, but food has definitely has always been something underlying that I've loved and that I've been passionate about, and now it's surfacing, like, to a new level, so,
I love
yeah.
that. Okay, so you have worked traditionally for somebody else, and so this is relatively new.
Mhm.
What do you think has been the most challenging aspect of starting your own thing?
I like to say so I'm a huge mindset person, like,
Yes, I love this.
huge into that, and I come at it from, like, I am a Christian in
Yeah,
terms of, like, I believe in Jesus,
us
the
too.
Father, the Holy Spirit. I'm the Trinitarian God, but I feel like I've been very just as how my spirituality has gone, like, taught by him personally,
Mhm.
like, learn from him, always keeping it in line with truth. Obviously,
Yeah.
you gotta be wise about it and not some people will say some weird stuff and you just you discern, right? You gotta
Yes,
just do your best in
absolutely.
life and just go stay in love, stay in purity, stay in peace, and I feel like I don't know, I found it's pretty easy to kinda figure things out as you keep going deeper into it. But, yeah, I'm big into mindset, and I feel like I've really been taught by the Lord how to have, like, a victorious mindset in life and how to prosper. Prosperity has been something I've shied away from a lot in my life. From I think just from the natural guilt that everybody struggles with, it's been
Yes.
something huge I've dealt with over the course of my life, just like, not having a mindset of like now my mindset is, "Oh, I'm gonna prosper. It's not a
Yeah,
question." It's like
I love
100%
it
everything in my life is
so
gonna be
much.
perfect. Like, there's no why would I not? I have God living in me, and just if you look at the world, I choose to believe this world can be good and not bad.
Yeah.
Like, why would I ever think that this world's gonna go bad? Why would I not think it's gonna go good if I have the choice? And you look I'm into quantum science a little bit too,
Yes.
not deeply, but it's like if you just look at the basic science, what you observe is what manifests in this world. Like,
Yes.
very
I love this
fundamentally,
so
yeah.
much.
So, I love that, and that's kind of become deeply ingrained as my worldview from the
Mhm.
standpoint of grace and the blood of Jesus, the love of Jesus, and just him doing it all for me and me just resting in his love.
That is so great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I love that because I've seen how much it's like, and I feel like really just now I'm starting to see it happen in my business, just in all different ways. But I've been working on the roots for like, years now, but really intentionally, I think I would say in the correct way for about a year. I've really been setting my roots deep in God's fundamental desire to see my life prosper and to see people around me prosper, see the world restored, essentially. So yeah. Yeah.
I love this so much. I think that sometimes in Christianity, there is this poverty mindset because you hear a lot of things growing up, like rich people are bad, right? And you're like, oh, but if you look biblically, there are a lot of situations where people who are favored by God are so prosperous. And I always think about like the example of Joseph in the Old Testament, where it's like, I was reading it with my daughter and like everything, if there's like multiple lines where it's like everything he did worked out because God favored him. And I'm like, well, if he favors him, he favors me.
Amen.
So like it should absolutely work out that way. So
absolutely.
I love that you're working on this because I was actually also reading like this quantum leap book. Price is the last name. If you haven't checked into like U squared, all of that, it's really cool.
Okay, cool.
And they're really short reads.
Okay.
But it does talk about that. And I still bring it back to God, but I do believe like you can manifest things into your life and
absolutely.
you see other people successful. Like there's room for everyone at the top. So like, what's available 100%. To them is available to you.
Yeah.
And I love that you said so much about your mindset because that's so cool.
You can use that prosperity to bless others.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've always found with my business, obviously, I'm not making tons of money with it, but I mean, I have a niece now. She's 2.
Oh.
And recently there's been like a more special place in my heart, and I'm getting, I'm 27, so I'm getting more towards the time I'm like, okay, I want kids 100%. They're so cute. So I would give free pizzas to kids and like, even just small things like that. Parents take it such to heart. They love that. And it, makes you feel so good to be able to just like love on people in that way. So that's just who I am too. I feel like that's when you've been touched by God's love, you don't have to try so hard with it. It just becomes second nature of like, of course I want to live that way, like it's just so good to be that way. So yeah. But yeah, the manifesting thing is huge because I feel like for me a long time, I shied away from it out of fear, thinking it was wisdom, but it wasn't wisdom. Now seeing is like, I was really just, I think under that kind of shame, that guilt of not understanding truly that that's really not God's heart for the world, for us at all.
Yes.
He really believes what he did on the cross. He don't believe. He does. He sees us. He's like, no, you're actually clean fully.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with, anybody. It's not about what you do anymore. It's about just resting in my love. And you'll see that start to happen in your life. So
it is tough when you start a new business though. Like, is this all going to work out? All these doubts start to creep in.
Yeah.
But as you trust in God's provision, like you start to see that faith become more manifest over time.
Yeah. Because I've definitely dealt with that a lot. Like, I don't always talk about it because I'm just, again, I always try. But I mean, I've had so many thoughts like, oh my God, I'm 27 and I'm not making enough money. Like, all the practical things, right? I want to meet someone. I'm not making enough money for that and those types of things. But the more that I've just really believed in what God's put on my heart and just be like, no, this is, there's such an audience for this. I definitely can make this work. And you see so many people on, like, I love Instagram personally, because you see so many people who are making tons of money off their creative pursuits. And it's awesome. They're so genuine and they're making it huge. And it's like, for me, in the past, when jealousy would have aroused, now it's just like, oh my gosh, I could do that too. It's so encouraging to see. Like, there's so many
proof, right? Like your evidence.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it's available to them, it's available to you.
100%.
That it's human nature to get trapped in those thoughts of like, well, I can't do it, or like they must have something special about them. Yeah. And that's just not the case. So I think for me, like whenever I see somebody really successful, yes, I look at that as social proof and I'm like, hey, I just like bless them because I know it'll come back my way too. So I love that positivity. And I think mindset is just like something you continue to work on. It's not something that's like a done process. You're just going to have to keep working on everything.
Absolutely. And I found that's the key with it for me. I feel like I've seen lasting change and it always is first my emotional health, and just when I wake up and my feet hit the ground, I'm out of bed, like what my outlook is on the day. And now I've just learned naturally my outlook would slip into what's going to go wrong today, or, oh, this is going wrong. Oh, I still don't have this yet. Oh, I still have to do this. And so, I mean, for me, it's been, pure discipline. You have to just force your mind into submission. But it's
There's
like
a lot of retraining.
yeah, and it makes once you realize that your mind is just like your body. I mean, I would never just expect that I had muscles,
Right.
but not doing anything. Like nobody would in their right mind think you can have muscles if you're not doing anything. But if you work out,
You get stronger.
yeah, okay, if I work out, I will gain muscles. It's not a question. 100% I will, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing with your mind. If you train your mind into a prosperity as opposed to a poverty mindset, and a mindset of all will go well for me today, and just keep that so simplistic, eventually you will start to see it happen. I'm definitely starting to see it happen more and more in my life as I've started like really surrendered to those mindsets. So
Yeah, I love that. And
Yeah.
I think like the energy that you put out is what you get back.
yeah,
And it's always just, I heard somebody once say their little mentality thing was, I'm always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And I think another big thing is just not being attached to the timeline. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
like you were saying, like, I'm 27, I'm not here. You got to let that go.
I know.
because it will
I still
come.
haven't. I'm
Yes.
still like, oh my gosh. I still beat myself up for not starting this when I was like 20, you
Yeah,
know?
oh, I get that way
So,
too. And, I'm almost 40, but like, I think that things can change so rapidly for you. And you were talking about like the quantum. I think you can have these quantum leaps into that next thing. And like, I was listening to this podcast where this lady was talking about how she was doing food recipes online on her blog. And she was like, I have been working so hard for years. And she was like, I went 1 month from making like 60,000 to 600,000.
That's great.
And she's like, she's like, it happened just boom.
Yeah,
It just suddenly
that's
all clicked.
so cool. Yeah.
Like, and I think that's available to anybody. It's just
Yeah.
you keep putting in that work
Yeah.
and it will come to you too.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about how at the most recent farmers market you had an influencer come.
Yeah, which definitely is like the start of that, because I was just gonna say like I want to see that happen, but I haven't seen that quite yet with it, because in terms of the principles of manifesting and stuff, and like those quantum leaps where it's like essentially building the deep roots and you don't see any fruit for a long time, and then all of a sudden you see the manifestation.
Yep.
I feel like there's so many things that I've been meditating on, setting my heart and my mind on with the Lord, but not seeing it yet. And I feel like this, like how you said, that is the most recent thing where it's like, oh my gosh, it's really starting to happen, like people are starting to see it and the page is starting to gain traction, and for sure. Because it's been for a while, small, like very small, nothing miraculous. And I'm like, Lord, but you're miraculous. I should be able to do this. But yeah, so we just got to, like you said, stay patient. and keep going with it.
Stay patient and then being in the right room with the right people. I mean, that situation, you said you got 1,000 followers?
Already from a couple days, like maybe 3 days. Yeah, 4 days.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
So you are at the Montgomery Farmers Market.
Yes. Yep.
Is there anywhere else you're going to expand to?
Yeah. So I do the New Caney Farmers Market as well, which is a first and a third Sunday. It's at Valley Ranch Plaza, I think it's called, in New Caney. And then this weekend, for the first time, I'm doing the Farmers Market at 1488. It's called.
Okay.
So that's I haven't been to that one yet. I think it's a little smaller.
I haven't been to that one either.
But I'm gonna try that one out. And then I do like private event type stuff too.
You do?
Yeah. So I usually my best advertising or marketing is just like word of mouth, because I like to chat with people when they come and get a pizza. I'll just stand there, make their pizza, and talk with them, ask them what they do for work.
Best ways to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I found, because then you make those connections that are like, oh wow, this person really cares about me. Like they're cool, and I kind of vibe with them, and those types of things. So so I'm always telling people about the private event stuff that I want to do. And I do have like one wedding coming up in April, and I've had a couple people reach out to me about parties, and another person reach out to me about a wedding, but I want more of that. So definitely also just trying to do research and figure out how to break into that more. I'm doing a wedding expo coming up in February.
Any wedding expo.
Yeah. So I'm doing a wedding expo in the Woodlands in February too. So got a lot of things in the works. So just kind of hoping they land well, and yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Where is like your dream vision for this company?
I really, I would love to have a brick and mortar. Probably, I love the Woodlands. Like the Woodlands, I hang out in the Woodlands a lot at a specific coffee shop called Blue Door that I do pop-ups once a month there, which I just love. The owners are awesome. The people that work there are so cool. So I love that place. And it's been such a blessing to me of just like a community of people, because I met so many friends through it. But like, I don't know. I'm debating whether I would want to do it in Montgomery, because I just do like love the people of Montgomery, and they're very health focused, that I've found. And they love the organic. They seem to really be on that same mindset.
Yeah.
But I also like the Woodlands. But yeah, brick and mortar eventually is what I'd want to do. Kind of like, I don't know if you guys have seen Gypsy Poet. It's a It's like one of the
Huh.
very popular places in Houston. I think it's in the Heights neighborhood. But when you look at their social media and stuff, I haven't visited it yet, but my best friend lives right by there. And he's said like the vibe is just so cool. It's like they've created such a brand around it and such a place where people can go. It's like, this is pizza. Like, this is high quality. This is what we're looking for. So I would love to have a physical location where it's not just people coming in and getting takeout, but people coming in and the staff is friends with them, and there's a community around it, you know, because I feel like coffee shops do that really well.
They do,
Yeah,
yes.
they really, because that's, you know, that is what a good coffee shop should be, is a place where people are coming, meeting, and
hanging out for a
hanging
while.
out. Exactly. So I would love to translate that into a physical location. But I really want to do a truck, because there's like such
Like a food truck.
yeah, like a pizza truck. I think that'd be super sick.
There's a lot of things you can do with that too. There's so many food truck communities too. You can go and, you know, do rotation.
Yeah,
So
100%. So I think that's probably like next for me, is to do the truck. It makes sense financially. I'm saving money kind of in order to put it into that. And there's some cool options you can do. I just feel like the branding on it and like just the vibe of it when you see how it can look is so cool. I like having the tent right now because I love to talk to people, like I said. So like when you're on their level, you know, standing right across from them, it's easy to have conversations and make friends and meet people. With a food truck, I've definitely seen some that are like pretty closed off.
Yeah.
So I'd want to
I
would want to get a setup where I can keep that kind of like, you know, vibe of
going.
like meeting people, chatting with people, and I'm not like just the food, because it's really not just about the food for me. Like the people are 50% of it. You know, I love making friends and meeting people and just loving on people. So
No,
When you
absolutely.
have your truck, make sure you go out and hand deliver it.
yeah, absolutely. You get all sorts of different kind of small touches like that just make it, for sure. Yeah,
No, I think a lot of what you've said is really smart. Like I said, in organic marketing, the fact that you are so personable and you do these touches where you remember details about people,
definitely.
give the pizzas to the kids. Those are how you create those like raving fans who want to come back. So I think you're on the right track, obviously. I think you have a really good vision for it. So that's so cool. I love it. Do you think that you'll eventually then hire people on?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, especially if I had the truck, the volume that I would do with it inevitably is just going to be a lot more. Right now, like my dad helps me for free. He just volunteers on the
That's so
weekends.
cool.
So thankful for my dad. And then like when I need people, I can get people like friends to help me out and stuff, and do me the favor. But usually the events I'm doing right now, I can mostly just handle just me, just with the volume. I like that because obviously when you start to hire employees, there's employee costs, and I did that for a short period of time, and the taxes on it were just crazy. Like
They are.
it was nuts. So I was like, I was losing a lot. Not like I just wasn't making any money.
Yes.
My employee costs were sometimes like a couple thousand a month. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is nuts. So yeah, it was definitely a wiser decision for me to just do it myself. I kind of am a little bit, I like to do it my way, you know? Like I feel like everybody's that way, but I definitely like to do it my way. Working with other people is like, I don't like confrontation either, but it's like it's inevitable when you're working with someone. You have to be like, hey, I want you to do it this way though. And then I just feel annoying because I'm just like, does it really matter that much? Like I am kind of being a little bit of a nitpicky cook. So it's just easier for me if I just do it by myself. But eventually I have to just get over that and
Yeah.
to flow with people.
I think that will be your next big mindset growth
Yeah.
thing. I think it's really hard. I have an employee, and I've had plenty over my time owning this office. And it is really hard to separate that, like, you want to be friends and you want to be nice to people, but you also have to be the boss.
Yeah.
So I think it's just kind of setting for yourself up right away, like good systems of like standards of procedures, SOPs, and also like remembering how everything reflects back on you. So there is that line that you have to keep of professionalism.
Yeah.
Because trust me, once you get into that, if you let those things slide, it will come back to you. So
For sure.
just getting to that point where you can be firm with people, but also being able to step back a little bit and not micromanage.
Yeah.
And that's how you scale. That's how you'll be able to continue to add things. If you want your brick and mortar and also have the food truck, you're going to have to allow yourself.
Eventually I'm gonna have to do it for sure. I know. Yeah. That's something I haven't even, my growth has not gotten there yet, you know, which is fine. It comes in stages.
No, but I want you to start thinking that way, because
for sure.
you got to think bigger than you can imagine to be able to scale like that. So I like it.
No, it's definitely true. And I wish it's, because there's got to be a give and take with it. You know, I feel like that's what I'm seeing. And even just as I think about it, like the employees got to give a little, where they're like, oh, this is stupid. I don't feel like doing it this way. Please, it's my business. Just do it that way for me. But then, you know, you have to I like the idea. Okay, well, we'll give them a free pizza every single time. So
Yeah.
I love to do that. Like when anybody has worked for me or helped me out, I always give them free food, never make them pay for food. And I try to, I'm not like a yeller or get mad or things like that. It's not really too tough for me. And it's just there's not high stress, I'm just
Yeah.
making pizzas. So that's kind of easy to stay away from those types of things. But yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn with it. It'll be interesting for sure.
I think the right team member, when they come along,
Yeah.
is gonna want to help you grow to the next.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to be that superstar for you to help it grow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I think you absolutely can find that person.
Yeah.
You just have to
Yeah.
be patient with it
Yeah.
and manifest that.
Yeah, 100%. I've even had people who've worked for me, like certain friends, because a lot of times if it's something I need someone for, I'll hit my friend. I'll be like, bro, can you help me out tonight or whatever? And people have come and helped me out. And like, there's definitely been some of them that have just been excellent, like
Yes.
not confrontational. The biggest thing too is I really like to show love to the customers, because like a lot of times, I shouldn't say a lot of times, sometimes you'll go into a restaurant and the person that's the host or hostess or whatever won't be very chatty, take you to a seat. That's not a memorable touch point,
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, every time someone comes, it's a memorable touch point. You can totally, and it's selfless, but it's also like self-promoting, because if I'm loving to them and I'm kind to them and I show them I care and I ask them about their day and I talk with them and ask them what they do for work, they feel so, blessed by it. They're going to come back. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
like if your product is good too, and that's something I always,
Well, yeah,
you got to make the product good and then be, confident in it, and people will come back. So, but that's something with people. It's like, I want to find someone who is able to, hold a conversation and look someone in the eye.
Yeah, you
smile,
definitely want personal people. And
exactly.
I've heard many times over, and I still believe this is the most interesting person in the room is the most interested. So when we're organically marketing,
100%. Yeah,
you really want to learn about them and not just be talking about yourself, right?
100%. Yeah.
I
I love that.
No, I love
It's
that
so it's
too.
so good because people like to talk about themselves. I love when people ask me about my business
Yes.
and are excited about it and proud of me when they don't
Mhm.
even know me. That feels so good. So it's like you gotta give that to others too, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So as you scale, and because we're looking big picture, what do you think your non-negotiables for your business will be?
Give me more specifics in terms of
So like I said, you're going to be hiring people on, you're going to be expanding to different locations. What things do you want to make sure like never falter? So you just kind of gave me some examples, like being able to be personable, right? And obviously quality, right?
Yeah.
But how about for you as you get busier, like have you thought about how you're going to manage your personal time?
Yeah, that's something I've definitely thought about because like recently I've been working 50, 60 hours a week, and it's not, the good thing is it's such different work. Like there was times where I was working in the restaurant industry and I was working 50 hours a week under, a chef with a lot of pressure, working on a hotline where it was intense, I mean, I was very friendly with the bosses and stuff, and they were all kind of my age. So there was that aspect that was really fun, but there was a lot of stress. Now my job, just being real, there's no stress to it.
Right.
Besides the stress of, I would say more personal stress of like, I want to be a provider and have a career that can provide for a family someday relatively soon within the next few years. So that's the only stress I really find. But in terms of like the other stresses you get from having a job and having bosses, I don't have any of that,
That's
which feels
deep,
incredible.
though.
But there's also like, you're working so much,
Yes.
and like, so yeah, I want to find a place where I think that will naturally come with a brick and mortar, if I had to guess, just because you'll have employees.
Yeah.
And, you won't always have to be there because you'll have to hire a manager because you can't be there for 80 hours a week that it's open if you're open 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Or whatever it may be. So I think for the brick and mortar thing, that will come naturally. And I think there's other kind of, right now, I also do apartment complex pop-ups and neighborhood pop-ups.
Nice.
That's how I kind of fill my schedule Wednesday through Friday. Those are like, the return on those are a lot lower than farmers markets.
Oh,
but
okay.
there's only so many farmers markets that I can do because I'm right now I only stay in Montgomery County.
Well, and they're all like the same day and same time.
Only Saturdays or Sundays. And so I have my Saturday and my Sunday always filled with it. But in order to, just do more volume, I have to do other things like that. And those are kind of lower return ones. So ideally my mindset is break more into the wedding and the private event space.
Yeah.
So because, one wedding would be a week paycheck.
Right.
Like weddings
awesome.
is just way more, obviously, because the volume, it's a set price and all those types of things. And you know what you're going to do ahead of time, as opposed to I could go to an apartment complex and sell 30 pizzas and think, oh, this was going to be a slow night. Or vice versa, I could go and sell 10 and it's like, okay, this was horrible,
Yeah.
So it's a lot more sporadic just in terms of that type of gig. So I really want to build I guess, my advertising and get my name out there in this area for weddings, those types of things. Because even if I could get one wedding a month, I probably would stop. I wouldn't stop doing the apartment things because the return on them is so much. And that would give me more time to rest, more time to focus on other things. And yeah, I have a lot of hobbies and creative pursuits that I want to do that I just don't right now have time for. So
yeah. I mean, you're working in your business a lot, but do you think you're setting aside time to work on your business? Because one of the things they always tell me with my business coaches, like CEO hours, where you just like think what your next big thing is.
That's good. I have way more now. The past like couple months, 100% I have. That's usually what I do when I go to the coffee shops. I get like the other small stuff done. That's just, week in, week out ordering or whatever I have to do. But yeah, I've really been focusing on my social media a ton, building my social media. And I think that's starting to pay off. And then I've done different like giveaways that are kind of big, like a free Valentine's dinner for 2. I just finished it this week in terms of the preparatory stuff for it and picked a person. So stuff like that I've been doing. And that got me like, over 100 followers on my Instagram just for new people seeing it and being like, oh, I'll follow him and get a free chance for that or whatever. So yeah, I've been doing a lot more of that stuff. So it's good, but that's been a recent thing. I've just kind of stepped into working, like you said, on it from the outside. So yeah, but yeah, that's been going way better now. So yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you are just the definition of a Houston hustler based on everything you said. If our listeners want to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Definitely through my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Grain Offering Pasta Co. Just that's the handle. Yeah, I think that's it. I follow the messages and I answer and usually reply on the comments. I try to be good about that. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show. We'll
absolutely.
include that in the show notes so that they can reach you. And we'll see you all next week.
So cool. Thank you.
You've been listening to Houston Hustle, celebrating the entrepreneurs who are shaping our city. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone building their own dream. Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and keep hustling.